All right, guys, let's go ahead and find the midpoint and distance between the two endpoints of this segment. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do is I'm going to write down how do we find the midpoint. All right, if you remember back to Math 2, the midpoint is just simply you take the x's, you add them together, you divide by 2, and you take the y's and you add them together and you divide by 2. So I'm going to come out here to the endpoints, which look to be at -3, 5 and 8, -7. And once I have those 2 points, I'm just going to put them in. So -3 is the x and 5 is the y. So I'm going to just simply write -3 plus 8 all over 2. And then I'm going to write 5 plus -7 all over 2. And notice that we have the x value and the y value, the x value of that point and the y value. That's all we've done is added them together and divide by 2. So at this point, we just simply say -3 plus 8 is 5 over 2, and 5 plus 7 is -2 over 2. And we can simplify this down to be 2.5, and -2 over 2 is -1. Now, let's go ahead and just verify this. So I'm going to come back into our information. I'm going to plug that into a table, which is just simply, I'm going to put in 2.5 in for x, and I'm going to put -1 in, and you should notice that it falls right in the middle. And that is how we find the midpoint. Add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, and divide by 2. The next part is going to be finding the distance, okay? So the distance is a Pythagorean theorem formula, and it is just simply this. We take let's go ahead. For the distance, we use the Pythagorean theorem, which is just simply but we would say it in just a little bit different of a form. We are going to take the square root, we're going to find the x's, we're going to subtract the x's, and then we are going to subtract the y's, and we square them in there. So x minus x squared plus y minus y squared, and we take the square root. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw that in there. So simply put, let's go ahead and write this in there. Take the square root. I'm going to start with -3. So I'm going to say -3 minus 8. And then I'm going to do square it plus, I'm going to go back to the y value, which is going to start here at 5. I use the same starting point, 5 minus -7 squared. And once we have this, I am just going to plug it into Desmos. I'm not even going to bother doing it by hand right now. So I'm going to come over here to Desmos and I'm just going to type it in. The square root of -3 minus 8. I'm going to square that plus 5 minus -7. I'm going to square that, and that will give me a value of 16.27. So the distance in this case, distance equals to 16.27 units. And that would represent the distance all the way from here to there. All right, guys, I hope that helps you out. That's how you use the distance formula and the midpoint formula.